1994, prior to apartheid being abolished, we wouldn't be in this neighborhood. Black neighbors that I have wouldn't be in this neighborhood. We'd be in settlements. So in the last 30 plus years, when you think about the progress that has been made, steady progress for the middle class black people to move up from the slums to where we are today, I think a lot of times when I compare that to the USA for 400 years of that history and how very few of us have progressed to the middle class, I think it's more progressive here than it is in the United States in terms of opportunity and stuff. My name is Ken Williams. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts in the United States. Brother Hayford, welcome to South Africa, man. Come on in. A couple years ago, I brought my wife to South Africa for her birthday. It was a chance for us to visit the continent, get a chance to be here for the first time, see the people, the culture, enjoy the weather. But, truth be told, between you and I, of course, I was on a secret mission to see if I could get us to move here. My wife, Kim, I'm Ken. We're the Williams family here in South Africa. So here we have our entry, we have an atrium. Atrium looks up to the sky. It's one of the elements of the house that we really like. Full of windows. We like the indoor-outdoor feel with the sunlight. Brings a lot of natural light into the home. We'll go down this way. We'll show you our library area. This would be our library. Inside our library, it's one of the places that we like to come to as a family. We have family pictures up. It's a warm, inviting environment. My wife is the designer. She really put her foot into this, making sure that it was comfortable. So we're really happy with how this feels to us right now as a family. I left the United States in search of peace, joy, trying to go and leave what I think was a hostile environment, a place that has systemically for hundreds of years been basically the same. It's improved a little bit, but for the most part, as an African American, a black man, race, discrimination, inequality, all the things that I believe harm your quality of life is an everyday existence in America. And I was leaving that behind in search of something better. And when you're looking for something better, you often have to think outside the box. And coming to South Africa was a moment to think outside the box because I had never been to the continent before. And I'm going to tell you, it was, if I could describe it this way, it was coming into OR Tambo, landing here and walking through the terminal. I saw myself everywhere, whether it was in the people, advertisements. I just saw the best of us. And when I came out of the airport, smelt the air, felt the sun on my face, I just knew this was home. So we're going to go towards the dining room area. And inside the dining room area, we've had plenty of parties here. Recently, we actually had Tuskegee University grad students, undergrad students, as well as their professors over a few days ago. We had a gumbo celebration here at the house for them, and it was a magnificent time. But this is where we dine at. It's one of the areas that we dine at. It's not just the main area. We have a wine closet over here. Not fully stocked yet because we moved in not too long ago, but has the ability for us to go and have some wine on the shelf for special guests, special occasions. And then down here is our family room area. It's an area that we use practically every day. We have a seating area for people who want to eat and watch TV, listen to music, or folks that want to lounge out. We have a couch and everything set up. We have a kitchen table over there that seats 8. 4 seats here, 12 plus 3 or so people can sit there. So we can have 15, 20 people in the space comfortably, socializing, sharing in each other's stories, and just enjoying each other's company. I'll bring you over to the kitchen. And again, my wife is extraordinary as far as decorations and stuff like that go. She's made the home feel warm, inviting. We're really proud of that. In the kitchen, we have a nice big center island, 8-burner stove. I'm the cook in the family, so I really like this space. Allows me to go and do a lot of different cooking. I love to cook for the family, love to cook for our guests and friends. And, we have enough counter space and cabinetry that allows us to go and stock up on things to make it a very, very festive area. She's being camera shy right now. So, like anything, whenever you're dining and trying to go and make sure that you're entertaining folks, you want to have spaces that people are maybe grabbing food. So this space along here is usually where we have our food and people can go through in a serving line if they want. Or we can do something more formal and have people serve directly. My first impression when I arrived here in South Africa was there was a U.S. advisory that said South Africa was a very dangerous place. Constantly be aware of your surroundings. Carry your malaria pills with you and make sure that you use them because you might become sick. Get your yellow fever shot because you're susceptible to diseases and stuff, right? When I got here and I realized that the water was clean to drink, that there was no malaria outbreak, that I didn't have to clutch my phone every place I went. Not that that doesn't mean that there isn't someone that isn't losing a phone someplace. That would be called a petty crime in America. But for the most part, I was safe. I was safe amongst my people, amongst my black folks that are here. There may be poverty and things like that that I see on a day-to-day, but we're all just decent people, and I align with that. In America, we're not accustomed to maybe having a separate scullery area. So being here in South Africa, that was something that really intrigued us. And what it allows us to do is we can have a clean space out here for dining. And then in our scullery, we have another kitchen area, we have a freezer, we have our washer and dryer set up in this space that allows us to separate it from the kitchen. So, if you have a mess, dishes, things like that, they can go back here. And it's outside the view of, everybody, which is pretty nice. And then we have what's called a back pantry that allows us to go and have, additional space and stuff. So it's one of the things that's really interesting about South Africa when you think about the design layout of homes. They're very intentional as far as giving you enough space, enough areas that you can have more storage and stuff. That's something that was new to us as well, being from America. There's a lot more storage space here. And one of the things that we really liked about the flow of the house is the fact that the open floor plan allows us entry and exit from different rooms from different points. So we can come through here and still find ourselves going out. So it allows decent flow, entertainment, allows folks for traffic not to feel like they're just going in one way and out in a certain way. There's multiple entries and exit points. And then of course, down here off of the family room, I'm just going to demonstrate. It's a little chilly out today, but for purposes of us seeing what this looks like, we're able to go and stack open doors and really enjoy an indoor-outdoor living space. So it allows us to entertain, open up doorways. We've had parties of 100 people here, and it allows us to open up, invite folks in an indoor-outdoor living kind of functioning space. We have the water feature, gives off that, that nice, calm water flow. We have a pool. We also have, in back of this area, a pool house that's separate, detached. And then we also have in back of you a fireplace that on a cold night or a cold day, we could light up the fireplace. And that allows us to go and entertain and bring some heat into the area as well. And then again, this is the atrium area that we're really fond of because it's not something that we've ever seen before, but it allows us to come in, bring in some vegetation. It opens up to the sky, which is an element that is unique. It's not something that we saw in any of the houses that we looked at. Raising my daughter, our 15-year-old daughter here in South Africa compared to the U.S., because we have two older kids. I mean, they're adults, 33 and 31. At this stage of my life, it's important for me to spend quality time, as much quality time as I can with her because I understand she's our last child. Raising her here, one of the things I really love about South Africa is that kids can actually be kids. In America, it seems that, young teens, teenagers, they grow up so fast. Because there's a lot of violence in America, school violence in America, neighborhood violence in America, teen sex, a lot of children are having kids out of wedlock. It just seems to me, and those things may occur here in South Africa, but the frequency is what I can really appreciate, that I don't see it at that same frequency as I do in America. It's okay for a 15-year-old to maybe still, cling on to dolls and have a passion for that, or have art that they like to go and draw, or, we went to the bowling alley with a few of her friends a few weeks ago. Kids being able to just have fun as kids. There was a chalkboard at the bowling alley, and her and her friends started drawing on the chalkboard in between their rounds. In America, I don't think I would have seen that with 15-year-olds. In America, you're concerned about drugs, alcohol. You're concerned about a lot of trappings that can make a child turn into an adult pretty quick. The kind of childhood that I would want my daughter to have here is one that when she grows up and she looks back on her youth, she'll know that the things that we experienced as a family, she'll pass on to her family. Those experiences that we've been able to afford her here, she will then be able to pass those traditions on, those customs on to her family. The most important part is, you only have one youth, and to enjoy yourself without the trappings of finding yourself having to make adult decisions as a kid. So back here, we open up into the backyard space, the pool, a pool house. It's winter time right now, so excuse the fact that the pool's not completely clean, of course. And then we open up into the green space area off of the pool house, which is very nice. It allows us to, we've had tent parties back here where we've had additional seating for guests in some of the parties that we've had. Our daughter recently got engaged back here. She came in from America, and her fiance surprised us with honoring us, having us all participate in the engagement party here on the continent. So that was an incredible experience. He had already asked us beforehand, but setting everything up here when they arrived was a fantastic experience for us all. So back here, we open up. We have beautiful sunlight, flowering indigenous trees. We have rose plants, all the trappings that make things home, calm, and make you enjoy all that South Africa has to offer. The events that led up to the final straw that helped me determine that this was going to be the best move for my family didn't culminate with Trump being elected president or any of that. I'm 58 years old, and it's life experiences. Coming through America, and I'm not here to denounce everything about America, but I can denounce the things that as a black man I experienced that negatively impacted me. I mean, growing up as a kid, my parents navigated Jim Crow, sharecropping. My great-grandparents, I have my grandfather in South Carolina who had 40 acres, grew watermelons, slaughtered pigs, worked the soil. He went through the Civil War as a black man. There's a history in America that black people have always been at war. And when you're looking at that entire timeline of history, you could either repeat the same thing over and over again, which is trying to integrate into a society that is predominantly white. And I believe James Baldwin said once in 1969 that integration is murder. In order for a black person to integrate into a white society, they essentially have to murder themselves. They have to forget about who they are, their customs, their culture. They have to go and align themselves with the very people who are trying to do them harm. And I got to the point where I was like, this is crazy for me to continue to put my family into that cycle. So I left. One of the most interesting experiences I had when we first came here and we moved into the neighborhood was coming to a golf course with a clubhouse, and it was on a Sunday. And there were a whole bunch of black kids that were out here practicing, and they were rolling around their golf carts and stuff. And Isley Brothers was playing in the background, and we were eating our breakfast, and I was like, wow, something like this would never happen in America, ever, at a clubhouse. So to have that experience here was really special. So if we go down this way, we're going to go into the pool house. In here, we're doing a little bit of work, some baseboards and things like that we're swapping out. So excuse some of the work that's being done, but it gives you an idea of the space. It has a seating area. We have stackable doors here that open up during the summer, give us that indoor-outdoors feel. We always loved the ceilings in here. Vaulted ceilings with the wood beams and stuff like that. Architecturally, it just looks aesthetically pleasing. We have a propane heated fireplace, ample seating area for guests. We brought this from the States with us. It's a Peloton exercise bike. My wife, she was big into Peloton back in the States. And these are some things that you can't find here on the continent, but our subscriptions work, and it allows us to still enjoy some of these toys here. There's a bathroom in here, and on this side, we have treadmill and some other gym equipment that's in here as well. Everything, like I said, is being moved around because we're in the process of doing some renovation work. But it has a built-in kitchen, so it has a built-in refrigerator, sink, has a 4-burner electric stove. If we wanted to, definitely a space that could have been converted into maybe a cottage, 1-bedroom kind of cottage. But these are the things that you find in South Africa that we certainly could not have afforded or found in America to fit our price and our budget. So in South Africa, we're able to live more comfortably, a bit more lavishly, but more importantly, entertain our family, our kids when they come back from America, or we have family members that come in from America. We have enough space to entertain everybody here. All right, so we're going to take you to the garage, show you the power plant that powers the house. We're pretty proud of it because when we first got here, load shedding in South Africa about a year and a half ago was problematic. Right now, we've been relatively load shed free for maybe about 6 or 7 months now. So this is still a backup just in the event that Eskom goes down. But at the same time, we're virtually off grid, so it really doesn't matter. But I'll show you. So up against this wall, we have our solar system. We bought the house and we've been doing renovation work and things to the house for about 12 months now, so we do have some things laying about. The solar system, however, is a redundant system. There are going to be 9 inverters. There are 3 inverters per phase. There are 3 phases to this house. We also have, 2 inverters. So 2, 4, 6, 6 inverters, 9 batteries. We have 3 batteries per 2 inverters. And the system is very unique in the sense that we did redundancy on each phase. So we have 2 inverters for each phase of operation. And if one phase goes down, we still have power on the other 2 phases. If there's maintenance issues that we're doing or something like that, we still can switch over from our solar power over to our ESCOM at the panels, at the power box, junction box here. So that's very unique in our respect as far as how we designed it. So far, we're virtually off grid. Right now we're in the winter time, so we're using a little bit more power. So we've seen a little bit fluctuation in our pricing, but for the most part, we're virtually off grid. So we're pretty happy with this setup. The golf cart's really nice because we have a solar system that generates electricity based on the sun. So why not have an electric car? It's an affordable electric car. It's a lithium-ion battery. It'll probably go for an entire day. We're able to use the golf cart in our neighborhood. We go outside our estate. We go shopping. We're pretty unique in the sense that we can drive this and go shopping nearby. We can go by a neighboring estate and do golf. So it acts as a second car. It's a very affordable second car basically for us. And when our guests come into South Africa and friends are staying with us, they're able to use the golf cart as well. So they have mobility, and it just creates a greater convenience for everybody. So as mentioned, it's important not to just consider electric backup. We also have a borehole that we had installed. And that's what this setup is here. It allows us to create 3,000 liters backup water. The borehole itself goes down about 65 meters, and we alternate back and forth between Johannesburg water, municipal water, and our backup water. The way I earn my income now in South Africa is not based on finding employment in South Africa. I'm retired. My wife is retired. So we're self-sufficient in that respect. Because we are applying for retirement visas, it stipulates that I can't go to work for a business in South Africa. I have to be self-sufficient to do that. And at the same time, if I wanted to start a business, I suppose that would be one way for me to create some wealth or some income. But I haven't been here long enough to figure that part out just yet. So we'll take a look at a guest bedroom. We have different ones, different floors, different areas of the house. But typically this is when our guests come, friends and family. This is one of the rooms that they stay in. So it's a one-bedroom, has ensuite. Every room has its own ensuite bathroom in it. But this is the setup in this particular area. And what I ended up doing was I took out the shower units. I didn't care for the tile that was there originally. So I replaced the tile just to go in and update things. You know, being here, when I reflect on being here the past year and a half, and I think about the outlook for myself, as a black man, I understand that reducing stress hopefully creates longevity. Having a quality of life by reducing stress, by creating more family time, having more dinners, you know, in the evenings with your family, having more outings, more braais, more fun times. That's what makes life special. In America, and maybe society in general, if you're in a capitalistic society and you're always constantly chasing the money, there's less time for those things. You're always trying to pack your day in with, how do I make money? That takes the joy out of living. You may have a lot of things that you've obtained. You may have a nice car, you may have a nice home. But when you look back on it, when you get a little older and you think about the time that you spent chasing after those things instead of spending it with the people that you love, you're going to regret it. Here in South Africa, you get a chance to appreciate the time that you have with family and loved ones. Relocating to South Africa is not going to be for everybody, and some of the sacrifices that one has to make in order to be here, of course, is not having family and loved ones close by. They're 7,000 miles away. So that's something that you always have to take in consideration. I don't have grandkids, so I don't have that just yet to deal with as a real world problem. But I know people who do, and that's something that they struggle with. At the same time, my dynamic may be different from someone else's, and I'll give you an example of that. My daughter and my son, our oldest daughter and son, when we said that we were relocating from America to South Africa, they were extremely upset with us. They weren't pleased by our decision. And for the better part of a year, they were upset. They didn't understand it. They had never been here. They didn't understand. Our daughter, this past holiday during the festive season, decided to come to South Africa. When she got here and she realized that there may be a fictional Wakanda, but South Africa is Wakanda. She found everything that she was looking for as a younger adult here. And it really resonated with me as a father that, wow, not only did we find Wakanda, but we found a destination that satisfies all age groups. In America, when she would come home for the holidays, let's say around November and December, she and my son would stay for a couple days and they would be back off doing the work on the plantation. To have her come here, live her best life, want to buy property, want to make investments here, try to figure out how she may be able to grow a business here. That warmed my heart up greatly, because now I found that, our younger kids may find their purpose here as well. And this is home. Building community in South Africa has been relatively easy. It's been easier than I ever thought it would be. That is because we're not the first to arrive. We've been allowed to join other people who are here. We've built community within the African American community, which has its own customs and culture, of course. But most importantly, South Africans have embraced us as well. So here at the house, we've had parties that had, all different types of tribe folks here. We're just a part of the tribe. And one of the things that my South African brothers and sisters have really introduced me to is the idea that we're just black. There's no, we should just look at each other as black. I'm 6'4", so I might stick out a little bit because of my height. But for the most part, if I don't open up my mouth and sound American, a lot of people might even think I'm just South African or come from someplace on the continent. And I love that. I love the fact that, I see me everywhere and they see me everywhere as well. I think the thing that surprises me the most about South African people is their warmth. I'm sure there's someone out there that maybe doesn't like the fact that I'm here. but I haven't met him yet. You know, in terms of wealth, when I think about wealth, and I think about how I felt in America versus how I feel here, for me, there's really no difference in that standard. I'm wealthy in knowledge. So there were times in my life that I was pretty broke, but it was my knowledge. My dad told me years ago, he was like, one thing that people can't take away from you is what you acquire in knowledge, and that'll be the thing that kind of saves you and helps get you to the next level. And he was 100% right. Those times that I didn't have everything that I needed, I was able to figure out how to devise a plan to get it. So I've been wealthy, whether I'm in the US or here, I'm wealthy. When I was living in the US, the things that matter more to me now versus then, I would say that, time is pretty important. We can't recapture what we've wasted. So being here, being purposefully, enjoying every day, it's a true blessing to be here. It's a true blessing to be in a place, in a space that you really love. In America, when I was there, growing up there, living there, immersed in the community there, I knew I wasn't happy, but I was functioning. Now that I have the separation of not being there constantly and stuff like that, I really truly are happier now. And I can reflect on that and understand it a lot better than I ever could before. When I think about everything that's going on in the next 5 years, I see more of what I'm doing right now. Maybe in the next 5 years, maybe I've been able to collaborate with, people on the continent and, figure out how to grow a business, maybe figure out how to go and help others find their way as I did in this journey. About a week ago, we had Tuskegee University students here, undergrad students, and we had their professors here, and was able to see through their eyes. It was their first time being here, but I was able to see through their eyes the promise of the future of the continent, where young people who are just now entering the workforce, instead of them looking at silos, having a silo type of mentality where they're like, okay, I'm going to work in the USA for 40 years and then I'm going to go retire in the USA. These young people were saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to find a US company that is here on the continent that has offices here, or I'm going to, go to grad school here. They're already figuring out how to get outside the box. It took me 57 years to figure that out. So if you can do that in your 20s, you get the world by the balls. The advice that I would give to other families who are seriously looking at relocating, and those who are on the peripheral, they're just now starting to explore what the possibility of that looks like. I would say that, relocating from America is probably almost like someone going to Mars. It takes a lot of fuel. You got to build a rocket ship, takes a lot of fuel, and then you have to take the risk of it maybe blowing up in the atmosphere, right? Trying to go and get there. And there's going to be a lot of unknowns. You may not make it to Mars. You might make it to Mars and then find out Mars isn't what you expected and have regret. But the thing about life that makes life, to me, kind of interesting is the risk. If you never take the risk, if you never take the challenge of seeing what that looks like, you'll never reap the rewards or the benefit of that decision. For us, the hardest part of leaving America was getting over the friends and family that said, what are you doing? you're fucking out of your mind. Putting them aside and going with what the gut was saying has probably been the best decision, one of the best decisions other than being married 35 years ago, 33 years ago. One of the best decisions we've made as a family. Happy birthday to Mrs. Williams. Love you. And hopefully you enjoy your day. Thank you for being so special. Praise God. You know, if I could speak to my younger self, 30 years ago, before coming to the continent, coming to Africa, I would have planted roots. I would have bought some land. I would have made some investments. You know, maybe in my lifetime, I've owned 20 cars. I would have cut that down to 5 and made some of that money actually work, a little bit better for me. But when you're young, you can't see that. The only way that you can see that is by actually experiencing things. And the only way that you can experience things is by having a passport that allows you to go and leave the 4 corners of the world that you're in and explore what that looks like outside those 4 corners. So if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be more adventurous, be more bold, do things that other people probably weren't willing to do. Yeah, this journey has definitely been worth it for many different levels, many different reasons. But most importantly, I think the number one reason is because it's afforded a bridge for our kids. Our daughter, who got engaged here, got a chance to immerse herself in the community, find the culture to be everything and anything that she's ever wanted, demonstrated to me that this experiment is working. Probably working better than I ever fucking thought it would, but it's working. And because it's working, it lets me know that, going forward, bridging and having that bridge for our kids, the bridge is now being extended to other family members. That bridge will be extended to friends and associates. And over the years that we're here, hopefully it allows other people to find the same joy, the same peace, and the same home that we found here in South Africa. As a final message, anyone that's watching, the thing that I would say is that same thing I told my sis who came here in December. She's not my blood relative, but she's our sis. She came here and she was here for 4 days, and in 4 days, she was almost fighting with the airlines trying to figure out how to extend her stay because they wouldn't accommodate her. But in those 4 days that she was here, it was so powerful for her. She ended up buying a property here. Don't come here if you're not serious, because you're going to find your heart is here. And you're going to, everyone that comes here that I know of has been trying to figure out how to stay, how to come back, how to make investments. So don't come here. If you do and you're married, you may have one spouse that wants to come and stay and one spouse that wants to stay over in America, and y'all gonna end up divorced. Don't do that to yourselves. Be on the same plane and, figure things out together. But don't come here and then go back to America and have your heart broken. That happened to us. We went back to America, heart was broken, and then we found ourselves back here 6 months later permanently.